The story of the 1971 AMG 300 SEL started long before the car itself back in 1955. Mercedes had been a part of racing since the beginning, but a horrific crash involving one of their cars resulted in the death of 80 people, including both the driver and spectators alike. This was something Mercedes could not repeat, and as a result, they pulled out of racing. But a company is run by individuals, and two engineers, Elfrecht and Melcher, were bitten by the performance bug. They had been working on a performance engine for Mercedes when the project got scrapped, and ended up installing that engine into their own Mercedes and ended up racking up 10 wins in the German Touring Car Championship before deciding to leave Mercedes altogether. From there they created their own performance shop, which they called AMG. The A and the M were the first initials of their last name, and the G was the first initial of the town where the shop was installed. Their first project at the new shop was this 1971 300 SEL with a 6.8 liter dropped into it. This was no ordinary Mercedes-Benz. It was a creation born out of necessity and a touch of madness, an embodiment of the audacious spirit that defined the golden era of racing. This AMG was not just a luxury sedan. It was a brash statement of defiance. With its imposing frame and a 6.8-liter V8, it stood as an outlier in a world dominated by sleek sports cars and nimble racers. The 300 SEL was already luxurious and powerful, but AMG took it to the next level. The car featured a 6.8-liter V8 engine, which was a significant upgrade from the standard engine. AMG enhanced the performance and handling and the styling of the 300 SEL, making it a high-performance luxury sedan. One of the notable aspects of the 71 AMG was the participation in the 24 Hours of Spa in Belgium. This was an unusual place to find a large luxury sedan, but the car surprised many by performing exceptionally well in the race. The 300 SEL earned the nickname Red Pig due to its distinctive red paint and its size compared to the more traditional race cars of that era. And not only did the 300 compete in the 24 Hours of Spa, it ended up finishing first in its class and second overall, despite needing frequent fuel stops and brutally punishing its brakes. The success of the Red Pig marked the beginning of AMG's reputation for creating high-performance versions of Mercedes-Benz vehicles. It also solidified the brand's association with powerful and stylish luxury cars. The legacy of the 1971 AMG 300 SEL continues to influence the design and performance of modern AMG vehicles. In a world of automotive brilliance, the Mercedes-Benz 300 SEL 6.8 AMG stands as a testament to the daring spirit that defines true legends. The Red Pig, with its unconventional marriage of luxury and performance, left a permanent mark on the pages of motoring history. Its triumph at Spa was not just a victory for Mercedes-Benz or AMG. It was a triumph of innovation, determination, and the relentless pursuit of pushing boundaries. So what became of this unlikely hero? At this time in history, retired racing cars were not seen as precious. The Mercedes was sold to test aircraft landing gear, as there were few things on the planet that could handle the speeds of the Red Pig. Coincidentally, the weight of the vehicle was also useful in this testing environment. Holes were carelessly cut in the floor, and it wasn't long until the car was unsalvageable. But all is not lost. In 2006, AMG, now owned by Mercedes, recreated the car bolt by bolt using the original plans. Although it is not the same car that actually raced back in 1971, it's as close to the real car as possible, and a great tribute to a true racing legend. Let's go ahead and take this car over to Tokyo and see how it handles our lap against more modern competitors. On the track, the 300 SEL feels purposeful and planted, which might be a nice way of saying big and heavy, but it does have a solid amount of power, making it a great car for those just starting out. The long wheelbase makes the car very forgiving, and it never felt overwhelming. You may want to be mindful of your entry speed in the corners though, because slowing this car in a panic will be very difficult. Even though it does have a decent amount of weight, we didn't see a whole lot of wear on the tires. We had 10% to the front and 10% to the rear as well, and I was able to get around 4 laps out of a full tank, which is to be expected for such a heavy machine. This can also be a fun car to use for money grinding, because the 300 can win at Le Mans, especially with the difficulty set to easy, but it could end up being a tight race, so you'll want to be mindful of the weather. It'll burn through its fuel in around 2 to 3 laps depending on your fuel map, and I ended up making a couple of poor decisions when I was testing it and was still able to win, but it was a pretty tight victory. From a historic perspective, I'd say this car is a must-buy, but it's not currently listed on any of the cafe menus, so that's really up to you at this point. I wouldn't be surprised if any future updates added this to an AMG class for the extra menus, so be looking for that in the future. Fully modded, this car ends up with 641 performance points, 548 horsepower, and 506 foot-pounds of torque. That's a decent amount of power, but it's still pushing around 3,605 pounds. That extra weight does lower the performance points, so this car ends up being a great choice for anything with long straightaways. It doesn't have any aerodynamics because the weight does a great job keeping it on the ground, and you'll end up with a lot more power than your competitors. We ended up crossing the line at 2 minutes 8 seconds .928, which put it right behind the Ford Sierra and just in front of the Ferrari 250 GTO. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe for future content, and we will catch you on the next one.